Hey guys, I'm Megan.
And I'm Stephanie, and we are
Barn Besties
with
Farm Fresh advice
for you. So we are here to impart the knowledge that we have learned over the years of building and running barns so that you guys don't have to have the problems and the misery and the mistakes that we made. Hope you enjoy our videos. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, right?
Right, and we hope to save you time and money on your new adventures.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, it's Megan here.
And Stephanie.
Woo woo!
Woohoo! So Megan, let's talk more about pasture maintenance. So I'm not sure when y'all are going to see this video, but when we're filming it, it's fall going into winter here in Wisconsin. What does that mean?
We're winterizing.
I think this explains it. It's not cold and frozen yet, but it isn't warm out.
Yeah.
So it's time to start thinking about things that have to happen before everything freezes, the snow arrives. It's, below zero or below freezing.
All the things. So
Behind us, right?
we have, let's see here, you can kind of see the lay of the land here. We have 8 pastures here. I'm still working on
And these all have tanks.
updating them. They all have water tanks. Now,
Versus
we have automatic waters in all the other pastures. Eventually, these are going to have automatic waters and sun huts, but it's like a 2-year
wish list.
phase wish list.
You do what you can do when you
So we do what we do. But for these pastures, we have a couple of options. We have a water tank here that's metal, and then we also have a water tank that is plastic.
The blue.
And so I personally prefer, I got all these water tanks because when you put a heater in, and let's say I typically put a heater in the bottom of the tank.
That's what I always did. I always did the bottom versus the floating.
Right.
I never liked the floating.
But guess
Too much encouragement for the horses to grab it and play with it because it was right there.
I totally agree. But you know what happens? In about January and February, this bottom heater quits working. And it usually quits working about 1 in the morning.
On a Sunday night when all the farm stores that sell them are Yeah.
And so then you have to put the floating one in. Otherwise, you have a brick of ice. And so I used to only get the rubber tanks. I didn't like the metal tanks. Well, guess what? I burned. Well, what happened is the bottom heater stopped working. I put in a floating one. The horses play with it, and they pulled it onto the edge and burned the tank right about here. So all the water came out, and we had ice everywhere. It was a disaster. So I don't do that anymore.
When I had my tanks, when I first got them and was trying to figure out what we were going to do in wintertime, we actually built boxes to go around.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, and that at least kept the horses, well, it provided a little insulation and kept the horses away from the tank heaters.
Well, I was trying to make it efficient and that maybe we would use less electricity because the front of it, we painted black and then it was open in the front of the box, but they just ruined the box. But anyway, back to this little tank here, I ended up with these guys, but we have 8 pastures. And so just imagine having heaters in every tank. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of electricity.
A lot of electricity.
So question for you on that regard. So you have how many total pastures?
16.
And 8 of them have tanks.
Yeah.
And 8 of them don't have the automatic waters.
They have the automatic waters.
When you put in your automatic waters, did you find that in the wintertime it affected, how did it affect your winter electric bill as far as?
Oh, it's less.
It's
so less. Heated, right? I wish I'd never bought any of these.
What is this, 150, 250 gallons or something?
Yeah, heated.
Keep all that thawed in Wisconsin in January.
I wish I never did that. It was a $500 to a $900 electric bill one winter. Yeah, each month. So that's
December, January, February, March, sometimes into April.
Yeah. So now what we do, we actually, because I also leave for the winter, so there's less horses in the winter, I close these pastures down.
Yeah.
So I really want to stress the importance on that too, because I've done this too, that I thought, oh, why do I need to empty the water tank?
Oh no.
And I left it up, right? And it gets rained on, it gets snowed on. Well, guess what? All these little seals
cracked
cracked.
and leaked.
And then this little keeper gets cracked, and so
And they're worthless.
They're worthless.
Well,
they're flower beds.
Tanks.
We're turning them into flower beds and seats. So
Right.
I wanted to share with you guys, if you're not going to use a pasture or a water tank, just flip it upside down.
Yep. Yep.
So here we are.
Or store it inside if you got room. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're lucky and you got room to store stuff, but
so we're in the process of that right now.
Slowly emptying them out.
We've closed down 3 pastures. I'm waiting for 2 more. And then, then we're going to close it down.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is pasture and water tank.
These aren't cheap, and to have them crack or
no, they're so expensive.
Yeah.
I have a whole graveyard of them.
Yeah,
but we're
they
gonna
make great like raised flower or vegetable garden beds or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's just sad.
Very sad. So
So she just took it, flipped it.
And there we go.
Probably takes a couple people to flip the bigger ones, but
yep.
I don't really like the metal because I use electric fence. Do you have issues where they push it into the electric fence and electrify their water tank?
We haven't yet.
Oh, that's good.
I do try to,
but you don't keep them full constantly. They do drink them down, right?
Yeah, and then we try to scrub them. We try to scrub them, and then but quite honestly, I cannot wait to get rid of these. I cannot wait.
Well, and the maintenance, it's so much easier to scrub out. We've done it in a prior video. To scrub out your automatic waters than something this big.
Oh, it's so easy.
You're losing a little bit of water while you're doing that, but this to dump and scrub all the water out of this.
Oh, and the time it takes, all of it, and then
the hose dragging.
It's such a bigger volume that you have to clean versus the automatic waters. But I was really stubborn. I like to know what my horses are drinking. There are automatic waters. There's a scale. I've kind of let it go. Especially over the years when I can't find help, and it's me doing it. So I'm always looking for more efficient ways to run a farm.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here, guys. We're going to tell you how and what we've learned the hard way.
The reality.
The hard way. I mean, she learned the hard way.
Yeah.
We all learned the hard way. I had the same thing happen. It was the middle of January. It wasn't that my heater died, but I have had that happen enough times. What I always would do, the first time that happened, I actually just every fall bought a brand new one, knowing that at some point in the winter, one of them was going to go, and it was going to be when the farm store that sells the heaters is closed.
Yep.
And it's going to be extremely cold out. So I always had one in reserve. So I could quick just change it out and get it done. But we had a power outage one time.
Oh no!
When the power's out, in the winter time,
you're done.
There's nothing you can do other than run a generator.
Yeah,
and
so I think we have 5 to 7 on hand. I have a whole bin full of used and brand new heaters.
Yep.
So we're ready.
You've got backup.
We have backup.
Yeah. But again, gotta have power.
You gotta have power.
And that's the thing is, if you don't have electricity out to run out to these, you can't use them in winter with a heater, even with a heater, because you don't have electricity to plug it in.
Right. That's why we have to shut down these pastures, because we don't have electric here. But we do. We have 3 pastures in the corner that we have access to electric. And if I really wanted to, I could keep these pastures running with electrical cords. However,
dangerous.
This is dangerous, unsafe, walking horses over electrical cords, no plowing with electrical cords.
Not only that, but
it's just not safe.
The amount of amperage you need to run these, you need to have a lot of room on your whatever
circuit. Yeah.
Whatever circuit you're pulling it off of. You got to have enough amperage. Because I think mine, I had 2 water tanks going on a 15 amp, and
it sucks it.
2 of those plus the fencer was maxing out my 15 amp breaker. That was it. It was pulling about 14 amps. It was like, okay.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You have to be very careful on that. So every time I was out and about, I was checking to make sure that
it's still
the breakers didn't, trip, because that can happen, and then your tank's gonna freeze.
Yep. Automatic waters, people.
Yeah,
it's my dream in life.
Yeah, Yeah,
All right,
makes
cool.
life a little easier. Let us know if you got questions, guys. Appreciate it. I hope you've been enjoying our little pasture maintenance series. We'll always be talking about maintenance and pasture maintenance, and there's a million things to talk about.
There is.
Always, but yeah, before you go, please hit all the buttons. Subscribe, hit the like button,
Please.
click that bell, which turns on the notifications. You'll find out when we upload new content. And of course, we always ask, leave us a comment down below. If you got a question, leave it down below. We'll try to answer it in a future upcoming video. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.